A teacher asked Johnny, "What does a chicken give us?" Johnny replied, "Eggs." "Very good, Johnny." "Jessica, what does a sheep give us?" "Wool." "Very good, Jessica." "Robbie, what does a cow give us?" "Homework." Apparently, Robbie has his own seat in the principal's office. A first-grade teacher explains to her class that she is an American. She shares the joys of being a part of the greatest country in the world and asks her students to raise their hands if they are or want to be American too. Not really knowing why but wanting to be like their teacher, their hands explode into the air like flashy fireworks. There is, however, one exception. A girl named Kristen has not gone along with the crowd. The teacher asks her why she has decided to be different. "Because I am not an American," says Kristen. "Then," asks the teacher, "what are you?" "I'm a proud Canadian," boasts the little girl. The teacher is a little perturbed now. Her face is slightly red. She asks Kristen why she is a Canadian. "Well, my mom and dad are Canadians, so I'm a Canadian too." The teacher is now angry. "That's no reason," she says loudly. "What if your mom was a moron and your dad was a moron? What would you be then?" Pause and a smile. "Then," says Kristen, "I'd be an American." An art teacher, a math teacher, and a science teacher are all arguing over which one of them is the smartest. The art teacher shows the others a giant clay sculpture of a dog he made. "This thing took me nearly a month to make," he said. "Clearly, this proves that I'm the smartest." The math teacher just laughs at him. "That's nothing," she says. She then pulls out a huge 1,000 question math test, which she took, and the score shows that she got them all right. "It took me 2 months to do this, and I got them all right on the first try." "Oh, you make me laugh," the science teacher says. He then pulls out a robot that he built that can do laundry, walk the dog, and shoot lasers out of its eyes. "It took me 3 months to build this beauty. Watch and weep." Then the gym teacher comes and laughs at all three of them. "You're all idiots," he says. "Clearly, I'm the smartest of you guys." "Oh yeah? Why's that?" the science teacher says. "Because I didn't have to do any of that, and I still get paid the same as you." The teacher asks Johnny, "What's wrong?" "Johnny, our house is very small. Me, my mom, and my dad sleep on the same bed. Every night my dad asks Johnny, 'Are you asleep?' I say no, and he slaps my face and gives me a black eye. Teacher, tonight, when your dad asks again, keep dead quiet and don't answer." The following morning, Johnny comes back with a severe black eye again. "Teacher, my goodness, why the black eye again?" "Johnny, Dad asked me if I was asleep." I shut up and kept dead still. Then my mom and dad started moving at the same time. Mom was breathing erratically, kicking her legs up frantically, and squealing like a hyena on the bed. Then my dad asked my mom, "Are you coming?" Mom said, "Yes, I'm coming. Are you coming too?" Dad answered yes. "Well, they don't usually go anywhere without me," so I said, "Wait for me, I'm coming too." A lawyer, an environmentalist, and a teacher were going to the bathroom. The lawyer gets done, washes his hands, and uses the entire roll of tissue paper to wipe his hands. "I was taught to be thorough," he said. The environmentalist washes his hands and uses his own kerchief to wipe his hands. "I was taught to be environmentally friendly," he said. The teacher walks out without washing his hands. "I was taught not to piss on my hands," he says. 11-year-old Johnny had a teacher who was very pretty and nice, and he developed a big crush on her. One day the teacher asked, "Johnny, why are you doing so poorly in your schoolwork lately?" "Because I'm in love," Johnny said it dreamily. "Who are you in love with?" the teacher asked while she tried hard to hold back a smile. "It's you," Johnny told her. "I want to become your husband someday," the teacher said. "That's very sweet, Johnny, but it wouldn't be a good idea. I do want to have a husband someday, but I want him to be a man. I don't want to have a child." "That's okay," Johnny said. I'll use protection. A college student wanted to sit next to one of his teachers at lunch. However, the teacher looked at the student with an arrogant face and said, "A swan won't be friends with a pig." "Then I shall fly on," answered the student with a smile. The teacher was clearly vexed by the cheeky reply and decided to make sure to do everything in his power to fail the student. At the oral exam, he gave the student the hardest questions, but the student had amazing answers for everything. Therefore, hoping he could still fail his victim, the teacher asked him a trickier question. "You're walking on a road, and you find 2 bags. One contains gold, the other cleverness. Which bag do you choose?" "The gold." "Unfortunately, I don't agree. I choose cleverness because that's more important than money." "Everyone would choose what they don't have," says the student. The teacher turns red, and he's so angry that he writes, "ass," on the student's paper. The student leaves without looking at the paper. However, he returns shortly, gives back his paper, and says, "Excuse me, sir, you signed my paper, but you forgot to give me my grade." Our teacher asked what my favorite animal was, and I said, "Fried chicken." She said I wasn't funny, but she couldn't have been right because everyone else laughed. My parents told me to always tell the truth. I did. Fried chicken is my favorite animal. I told my dad what happened, and he said my teacher was probably a member of PETA. He said they love animals very much. I do, too. Especially chicken, pork, and beef. Anyway, my teacher sent me to the principal's office. I told him what happened, and he laughed, too. Then he told me not to do it again. The next day in class, my teacher asked me what my favorite live animal was. I told her it was chicken. She asked me why, so I told her it was because you could make them into fried chicken. She sent me back to the principal's office. He laughed, and he told me not to do it again. I don't understand and why parents taught me to be honest, but my teacher doesn't like it when I am. Today, my teacher asked us to tell her what famous person we admire most. I told her, Colonel Sanders. Guess where I am now? A teacher decides to let students out early if they can name the origin of a famous quote. Teacher, who said 77 years ago? Before Johnny can open his mouth, Susie says, Abraham Lincoln. Teacher, that's right, Susie, you can go home. Teacher, who said I have a dream? Again, before Johnny can open his mouth, Mary says, Martin Luther King. Teacher, that's right, Mary, you can go. Teacher, who said ask not what your country can do for you? Before Johnny can open his mouth, Nancy says, John F. Kennedy. Teacher, that's right, Nancy, you may also leave. When the teacher turns her back, Johnny says in frustration, I wish these dumb would keep their mouth. The teacher turns around and she is livid. Now who said that? Johnny. Harvey Weinstein. Can I go now, miss?